So you're saying there is a chance? Welcome aboard, everybody. Michael Cohen here with you, right here on the Sports Talk Nation. Welcome back, as we got a lot to talk about with the New York Mets after they won 2 out of 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, of course, by record, the best team in Major League Baseball coming into the series at 31-11, have been dominating Major League Baseball, dominating the American League. And the New York Mets found a way, using the long ball, doing something they have not done much of consistently throughout the course of the season thus far. The Mets found a way to get the job done, win 2 out of 3 against the Rays, and now a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope in a season so far here in the first half of the year, in the middle of May, that has looked desolate, that has looked lost for the most part. With issues, and look, there are still issues with this Mets baseball team. We'll get into that in just a moment. But a little glimmer of hope. A little glimmer of hope, because right now the Mets sitting here at 22-23. And I'll be honest, and this is just in reference to the game on Wednesday night that really got this whole thing started. When the game was 5-2, Tampa Bay, I thought this game was over. I literally thought it was over. In fact, I'll admit, I actually turned it off. And then, next thing I know, I get a notification on my phone. Mets win 8-7. Like, what? 8-7? Yes. And then went back, watched the highlights, watched the replay of the game, the end of the game anyway, as the Mets come back. The 3-run home run by Francisco Alvarez, tying the game, forcing extra innings. Then the Mets falling behind, then grabbing the lead right back again with Pete Alonso's walk-off home run in the 10th inning as the Mets win 8-7. And then to back that up today with a stellar outing, yes, by Tyler McGill for 6 innings, as he gave up only 2 earned runs. 2 earned runs over 6 innings. He was solid. The bullpen was even better. And yes, Pete Alonso homered again. And yes, even Tommy Pham, who has struggled so far this year, getting an RBI base hit infield single. And the Mets take care of the Rays again 3-2, win the last 2 games of this series, stun Tampa Bay, and give themselves a shot. Because right now at 22-23, yes, the Mets are still 6 games back, but you look at this division, it's pretty much where it was a couple weeks ago, as far as where the Mets standing is concerned with the other teams. Not Atlanta, necessarily Atlanta right now, but with Miami, Philadelphia, Washington, and even the wild card race, which is all bunched together right now. Mets have a shot here, folks. There's nobody running away right now in the wild card. Even Atlanta, who has played okay baseball in the last couple of weeks, they're 5-5 in their last 10. Not as dominant as they were earlier in the year. Again, considering the time period we're in right now, 2 weeks before Memorial Day, 6 games back. It's not ideal, but it's within an earshot for that anyway. And we have seen teams, whether it be Atlanta, whether it be Washington, whether it be Philadelphia in this division, that have come back from nothing to be competitive and compete in this division and compete in the National League. So, yes, the Mets do have a shot. Now, there are things that do stand out from this series. One, the kids keep contributing, and the kids have to contribute, and they must play more. And I know Buck Showalter keeps trotting out guys like Daniel Vogelbach and Eduardo Escobar and even Tommy Pham, and I know he had a good game on Thursday. But the fact is, the Mets need to put more emphasis on the kids. We need to see more Mark Vientos. We need to see more Francisco Alvarez. We need to see more of Brett Beatty. We need to see more of these guys. Because anytime we see them play, they find a way to contribute. I mean, Vientos, in his first game back with this Major League team on Wednesday night, hits a 2-run home run. Alvarez has started to figure things out. He has had, 3 home runs in his last 10 games? He's starting to figure it out. Brett Beatty, now Beatty has struggled a bit in the last couple of weeks. He's not hitting as well as he did when he got the first call-up in mid-April. But even he, when he has a chance, contributes. He had an RBI in this game and was 1 for 3 against Tampa Bay on Thursday. The kids have to play. And I understand you could sit there and say, well, I understand the excuse was, well, you can't play two of the same guys at third base, whether it be Beatty or Vientos. Then let Vientos be the DH. Let Beatty play left field. Figure it out. That's what this is. That's what the Mets have been trying to do with these guys in the minor leagues all this time. Put these guys in a position to succeed. It's horrible to not use them more often. Let's hope the Mets moving forward give these guys more at bats. I know the veteran guys. I know Buck Showalter. We all know he likes his veteran players, and he wants to give those guys a chance. But the young guys have to play more. The other big part of this turnaround right now, the last couple of days, is Pete Alonso, obviously. He's homered in each of the last 3 games. Now has 16 home runs on a year. This was a guy who was slumping a little bit for a couple of weeks, and one of the big reasons why the Mets have been struggling to score runs is the fact that he has not been crushing the ball the way we are used to seeing him do it. Now he is. 16 home runs on the year, 37 RBIs. The batting average is not where you want it right now at 234, but the home runs, the power right now, is exactly what you want to see. 7 home runs. In fact, let's take a look at the numbers in this series, because to me those are telling. All right. Yes, the Mets got outplayed in a lot of areas. Okay, the Braves had a better team batting average, 247 to 200. They had more hits, 26 to 20, and they outscored the Mets 17 to 16 in the 3 games. But what stands out to me are 2 things. One, the home runs stand out. 7 home runs in this series, and for the last several weeks, ever since that road trip out west when the Mets were 14-7, and then had this incredible malaise and collapse over the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, they haven't been hitting home runs. And the only way you can win games in this league right now is to hit the long ball. If you have success in hitting the home run, there's a good chance, a better chance your percentages of winning go up. And the Mets hit 7 home runs in the 3 games, and no shock they take 2 out of 3 from Tampa Bay. The other is this, and I know the starting, you see there, the starter ERA, 4.76 for the Mets, 1.50 for Tampa. Bullpen, not great for the Mets. It was at 5.72, but it was certainly a lot better than Tampa Bay's bullpen in these 3 games, which got destroyed and shelled by this Mets offense. So for these 3 games, it's a feel-good series. It gives you some hope, some optimism that maybe this could be the beginning of a turnaround for the Mets to back up the win from last night on Wednesday night with a solid victory to win a series for the first time in a long time. I mean, they haven't won a series since that Dodgers series, the Giants series. In mid-April, it's been a long time, month. To do that, maybe the Mets can get on a roll here. And now they got the Cleveland Guardians coming in. The Guardians have had their issues. They're like the Mets, have underachieved. Right now, they're 20-23. And then after that, you take a look. The Mets have to go to Chicago and take on the Cubs, the Rockies. And then, yes, finally, the Phillies come into town to start the month of June. So this is an opportunity. These next week and a half going in before that Philadelphia series is a golden opportunity for the Mets, if they can take advantage of it, to get some victories, get back over 500, and reestablish themselves and really make a point that, yes, this was a launching pad to better things down the road. Now, does the pitching concern you? Yes, it does. You still got concerns. Now, Justin Verlander got shelled the other day against Tampa Bay in the first game of this series. He has not looked great. Max Scherzer has been iffy at times. He's battled injuries. You all know about the suspension from earlier in the year. He, too, has not been that great. So it really is putting a lot of stress on the rest of this rotation. The only good news, and granted, I say good news just hypothetically speaking, is that the Mets are going to get Carlos Carrasco back. Now, Carrasco has not been great this year, but he did pitch well in his rehab assignments in Binghamton and AAA in Syracuse, and the Mets are hoping that he can turn the corner and get back to being the pitcher that they saw at times last season. They need him to be that kind of pitcher, especially right now with the way Verlander and Scherzer have been kind of iffy so far this year. And then Kodai Senga probably had his best start of his season so far with the Mets, going 6 innings, giving up only 1 earned run against this very powerful Tampa Bay Rays offense. You can you can look at the statistics. You can take a look at it both ways. You can sit here and say, well, 3.77 ERA, 1.44 WHIP is kind of high. He has been the Mets' most consistent starting pitcher this year. I don't care what you say. He has been their horse so far. So if the Mets can get him going, can keep Senga going, if they can get Carrasco going, maybe you get McGill going. Of course, Senga pitched on Wednesday. Maybe you can get McGill going after his good outing here on Thursday. Maybe that will solidify this rotation a little bit. Of course, the Mets also have Jose Quintana, maybe coming back at some point this year. But do I still have concerns about this rotation? Yes. And as I just said, it all revolves around really the top two guys in this rotation who are pushing the age of 40 as we speak. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Mets are on their way to turn things all the way around. I'm telling you that this is a golden opportunity that the Mets have in front of them, that they can build off of this momentum, the momentum from these two wins against Tampa Bay, and really try to restart and jumpstart this season. So I think that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing from the Mets here over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see how that plays out. And it's kind of the same thing that's going on in the Bronx right now, too, with the Yankees, because they, too, have been mired in last place for a long period of time. And now with Aaron Judge back and healthy, you're seeing contributions, obviously, from Anthony Volpe. Harrison Bader has been contributing as well. Anthony Rizzo's been on fire all season long. The Yankees pitching, of course, is still a problem, but hey, look, they've been in an intense rivalry this week with the Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of back and forth going on between those two teams with regards to Aaron Judge possibly cheating, and then, of course, Domingo Germán actually cheating with the more sticky stuff on his hands as he gets the 10-game suspension. The Yankees right now are in a interesting, like the Mets, a very interesting position where they're right in it, folks. They're right in it as well. So it's easy to sit there and write them off, as a lot of people were doing over the last couple of weeks. You can't do it. You can't do it right now here as we go churning towards Memorial Day here in 2023. So be optimistic, folks. We'll see how things play out over the next couple of weeks. You have to be very happy with what you have seen from the Mets in this series against the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see what happens against Cleveland, and then, of course, the road trip to Chicago and Colorado. Remember, folks, like and subscribe. We've got more content coming your way right here on the Sports Talk Nation. Talk to you next time.